Hi, and welcome to a very special co-working, a podcast about what makes co-working special. And this month, we're becoming, I had to practice. I hope it's the right pronunciation. Miguel Lucea Jimeno from Co-living Sojuela Joven.
Very good. Thank you so much, Fanny. It's a pleasure to be here.
Same here. It was pleasures of mine. And I knew Miguel from another co-working podcast telling me about what they've been doing in Spain. And every time I hear about co-working, it's Spain, they're co-living, they're doing some incredible thing. At first, it was about Sunday, and now it's not just Sunday. There are plenty of other initiatives and mostly initiatives in real remote places. So what I love, the thing I love the most about remote work is that it is remote, meaning not only you can work with people not from the same building or the same room as you, but someone who might be in a remote place somewhere very far or in totally different time zones. And that's why I love the most about remote work. And that's why I feel that villages and small towns have a lot of leverage here right now to design a life that we want to live and not just live where we need to for work. So, Miguel, thank you so much for being here and for starting this project in north of Spain, if I remember.
That's true. We are in La Rioja, a very
Mhm.
famous region because of really famous red wine. And we are in a small village on which today it is probably 34 people sleeping in this village today. And four of us.
Okay.
Today we are not many, four of us in our co-living and co-working space. So even though we are close to the capital, it's only 20 minutes by car. It's pretty nearby. We do feel here the whole power of nature and the fact that we are very close to the mountain, to the forest. So all that peace that brings productivity and calm to our working schedules, but with the commodities that we can enjoy the city whenever we want it.
Yeah, 20 minutes by car isn't far at all. And I'm Belgium, meaning I'm used to short distances. So, yeah, it's crazy. So, I guess the location is critical for your project.
The location is one of the strongest things we have. Since I'm telling you, we have the mountain full of forest, then we have lovely vineyards in between, and then we have Logroño, the capital city, with all the services. So, when someone comes here, we pick them up from the train station from there, or any kind of hospital or services we may need. We find them easily there. And then the house we have, it is again the perfect location because we are reusing an old touristic rural house that was closed over 4 years, way before the pandemic. And we just took over with this house. We wanted to make a different idea to twist it over. And since last year, we are having this long-term co-living and co-working space to allow young people to come to work, to come to live to these villages that, as you were saying before, in Spain suffer a lot of depopulation and degrowth. So here we bring a second life to the house, to the village, and to this region as a whole.
Yeah, because the norm was to go from villages where which were maybe great for retirees or families, but when you get a young worker, you need to go to the city because that's where the jobs are and that's where all the activity is. But maybe right now it could be a bit different, and there are many initiatives I feel to promote life in villages, in countryside, in even small towns that might be also interesting in a different way, of course.
Yes, we do understand that life is different steps. So at some point, people want to get out of their comfort zone, and that might be a big city. Universities are usually in big cities, and learning and working opportunities are always found there. But the people we like to focus on these days is young people between 25 and 35, up to 40 years old. And we believe this kind of people is already thinking about a life purpose and a life project for the long run, and big
Mhm.
cities with the whole situation of housing crisis and inflation and quality of life itself in terms of pollution and wasting of time through commuting, etc., etc., it diminishes the daily life of people living there. So we do understand that once you've been to university, once you've been to those first employment experiences, and you may even think in the future to open a family, getting a first contact with the rural world might be the perfect solution in order to save money, gain health, and improve your relationships, because that's also one thing we are fighting a lot, at least in this country, which is loneliness, not only in all people, as sadly it's been happening for a long while, but also between young people. We go to big cities, but in the end, we live more alone than when we are in the smaller places where less people is available, but better people is available.
Yeah, or you have some kind of connection, some kind of communication because everybody tends to know everybody's. And while if you're in big cities and everybody's anonymous. And I remember there's been that TikTok in French that was being famous about a Swiss guy living in Paris for a few months because of work. So he was a student, got one of his first work in Paris, and was feeling very lonely. So he posted that on TikTok and they made some kind of meetups, gatherings, and that was heartwarming. But the truth is that many people living in big cities are feeling alone and don't have the community, don't have the support they need, which you might maybe create more easily in a in a place with fewer people.
Yeah. That's basically the main reasoning behind our proposal to open this house. And when we started last year, it's almost over a year, we are here working with these values. It was basically that to bring the whole amount of comfort you get in a city. We understand we need speed Wi-Fi, we need some commodities, we need, well, to get comfy and cool. But we do believe in a rural area, we can bring these things and be together. So at the moment in this house, we have all the luxury one person may imagine, such as, of course, a projector with a cinema, a chimney. That's something you wouldn't get in a normal city. We have a huge kitchen with a Thermomix, with a pizza oven. You know, we have all these luxury gadgets people enjoys because they make life easier. But then the way we live in this city, you know, in this village, is also taking care of the whole surrounding. So the house is in the middle of the main square. So even if we have a refurbished house with all our bathrooms, with all our bedrooms, fully refurbished, fully beautiful, we get to live in the middle of the center of the village. So nature is one step away. Our garden, where we grow our veggies, is one step away, and still we can enjoy this dichotomy between being in a modern lifestyle, but with all the advantages the village offer.
And how long have you been managing this space? When did it start exactly?
Yes, we started 1st of September last year, 2023. So it's 14 months, 1 year and something else. We started thanks to, thank you. We started thanks to a sort of contest the regional government was proposing for innovative ideas in order to
Hmm.
tackle rural depopulation. And we've been working in the past running the NGO, youth NGO Manfred on tour. We were basically working with Erasmus Plus programs, and we were bringing loads of young people to rural areas to work diverse topics such as entrepreneurship, climate change, democracy, etc., etc. So we've had this background of youth participation and volunteerism and Erasmus Plus activities. We thought rural areas work best for this educational purpose because, you know, you
Hmm.
get better focus, you have more attention, you get less distracted,
Hmm.
you get to mingle with the people you are and to live the moment. And thanks to this contest, they got our idea approved and they consider we were an emblematic idea to fight and to tackle rural depopulation. And now we have our own co-living, our own space where we can bring digital nomads, youth entrepreneurs, artists, people studying, young people studying. And we also do these workshops I was mentioning. So we get a whole mix of people of profiles coming here to work, to study, to learn in a sort of youth hub in the rural area where we get the best of everything and of everyone.
Yeah, sounds like a retreat where you would gather everybody to talk, work on one topic so that they
Mhm.
can really focus and have also other type of activities, but not necessarily shopping, but more working, hiking in the woods or discovering their local region. Basically.
Yep. That's, let's say it's sort of these retreats you mentioned. No, we do weekends, we do for a week, and then when we don't have these activities running, then it's when we have people living long run. But we try to mix them so we have this diversity of profiles, and then we have some inputs as well for the people working on and living here. Since we have a very international community, because most of
Mhm.
our guests are coming from abroad, we get to have a beautiful community in the village that mingles as well with the locals. So we get to do an interesting mixed life with locals, doing workshops with them. They teach us things, we teach them things. They get more technological, we get more traditional, and then we have a beautiful learning experience for everyone as well.
So involving the locals are a big part of this project.
Yes, I would say since we have a garden, that's the main field where they teach us things.
Hmm.
But the same applies to the surroundings. Now it's mushroom season, so they tell us what to eat, what to not eat, so we don't have any issue. But at the same time, there is always some people approaching to the house if they have any technological issue or if they have any trouble, we might be helpful with that. Languages, of course, is a strong tool for people coming to learn a little bit of Spanish and for people living here to learn a couple of words of the local language or English in this case. And the last piece of innovation we are trying to implement here is a sort of blah blah car for the village. So we get to improve our bus service. So through contacting and through WhatsApp in this case, we get a sort of a group where we have our mobility easier both for the nomads living here and for the locals when it's ourselves the ones driving.
That's so nice. I've been in places as a nomad where public transport wasn't really a thing, or it was complicated. And yeah, co-driving was the best. And why both those short-term and long-term guests? I guess it's two very different kind of project and two very different kind of audiences.
Yes, for us, the short term projects are basically our origin. So we start
Hmm.
as an NGO that starts with these short courses for a diverse variety of young people. That's how we started, and we still apply these kind of activities. And for us, is the main tool these days to promote ourselves. In
Hmm.
Spain, remote working is not yet such a big thing as in other countries,
Hmm.
and even this is a hard truth. Even to have an own house or an independence from family, we are one of
Hmm.
the countries that leaves their parents' house the latest. Our average is that we don't leave the house of our parents till we are not 35 years old, while countries such as Germany or Sweden, they might do it on average when they are 19, 20. So that's 10 years of difference. So where we are, this kind of mentality to liberate yourself and to get some freedom and to move from the city to a village is quite innovative. So these kind of workshops work for us as a promotion, as a
Hmm.
dissemination tool of what we are trying to do. And then it is basically, as I was saying before, our regions is one thing we really enjoy to do, to put different profiles all together to work for this area or to work for them. So we try to do these things 1 or 2 months in summer. And then the rest of the year, when let's say it gets more routine, we do work as a normal co-living, co-working space. But I think it makes a beautiful mixing of lifestyles. The fact that we have workshops with loads of people, the house gets very intense. We do have a lot of outputs on that. And then when winter comes, as it's happening right now, things get a little bit more quiet and people can focus on their things and be more inner thinker or projects that will come out next summer.
Yeah, super interesting to see how it depends on season, the seasonality of it. So summer is very hyped, and winter is more restful in a
It is
certain
just
way.
the way nature it is, I believe. No, when we have light outside, we
Mhm.
have to be outside. We have to be more active. We move more. And now, when winter is coming, it is the moment to reflect, to step back, to think from outside, and get to this
For
analytical process of thinking what to be improved, what to fix, and what to keep doing.
Yeah, no, super nice. And you've been talking several times, mentioning several times the region. Does that mean that the government is also a partner in some kind of way?
Yes, at the beginning, thanks to this
Hmm.
contest I was mentioning, we have been considered an emblematic initiative to fight this rural development. So during the first year, we did have a lot of support, not only economical, but also in terms of publicity. And we had the equivalent of the Ministry of Local Politics and Infrastructure coming to the house. And I think we got some credit, at least through the local population of what is a co-living, what these people is doing here, why suddenly in a small village we have people from 7 nationalities living there. So we got this public understanding of what we are. And now, after this first year is gone, we are basically trying to fly alone, to fly ourselves after this initial help in order to be our independent project a long life on.
So that's how it is today. Today, in the summer, you have short term guests. That's how you promote your project. In winter, you have more long term guests. You're not taking more time, seasonality of things. At the beginning, you had a lot of help with the government. That's how it started. And right now, you're trying to develop a bit more.
Exactly. That's pretty much the story so far. You got it perfectly fine. And that's how we plan to keep developing, basically. We believe it brings a very concrete value to our activity, bringing young people that maybe they are not yet working or maybe they are not yet thinking about moving somewhere else, but they get the idea that something is happening in the rural area, something is happening where they are trying to develop these remote areas you were saying, and we believe there is some print, some fine print that lives there. And maybe in the future, after 2, 3 years, these people get the idea that they can work online, that they can fully remote work, or that they can, you know, be away of that 9 to 5 scary schedule that many people still follow. And maybe they come to live with us. So that's one of our strategy. At the same time, trying just to develop in every way we can the territory here and offering different services such as educational ones and activity ones offers the whole agenda we want to implement through the year.
Yeah, so you've been talking about how you want to keep on developing. Do you have some concrete next step? What's the thing you want to work on next?
What is next? Okay, so for us, the co-living wants to be settled down as a sort of school of new projects. So a sort of hub where more things are to appear in the future, always thinking about this region and about young development. So not all of them are directly related to the things that happen inside the house, but we believe being together, the way ideas work, they breathe each other, and that way we can get to better examples. Just to say one of them, since we've been working with young people all this time, and we thought rural areas are key for these educational purposes to happen, we will keep the co-living through the years, but we want to create for next summer 1 month route on which 60 young people can discover, in this case again, La Rioja, our region, through walking, through kayaking, through cycling, all itinerant. So they get to discover over 100 villages next summer. So I
Mhm.
was telling before, summer brings the activity, winter, we think about these things. So we are planning all this route for next summer on which over those 30 days, they will get up to 500 kilometers, and they will see all the castles, all the forests, all the mountains, all the art, all the food, all the people, all the programs. It will be a whole package during that month. It will not necessarily be in this co-living, but thanks to this co-living and the people coming
Mhm.
here and the ideas we will get to promote to more young people that still, maybe they are not yet thinking about living in remote areas. But thanks to these projects, we try to build a little bridge that brings more people from the city to the rural area.
Oh, that's great. So the co-living would be like a think tank where you design all those different activities to promote the whole region, not just your co-living, but the whole place.
That's indirectly what we are having, yes, because the way we work
Mm.
here with our whiteboards, with our post-its, with our flip charts, we have quite an inspirational working area here. And the fact that we have different profiles with people being expert in different dynamics bring us a very well competent team that even if people is coming here to work on whatever company they are, in their extra time, they always enjoy to engage with the community. And the best way they can engage is through this common work on which we again focus on people that is inside and people that is outside. So they also escape from this co-living bubble. That is something I've been listening recently that, when you go
Mm.
somewhere, it also happens with Erasmus. No, you go to this honeymoon process where you are with everyone in the same vibe. But when you go back home or you want to touch ground and relate with the locals, you have this physical or inexistent, I don't know, but you have this barrier, you can feel it. So this way we break the borders and everything is way more organic and fun.
Yeah, that's super interesting because when you choose a place to have a co-living, you could say, okay, it's interesting for that specific place because we engage with the locals, we partner with them. But what about all the other villages? Maybe the ideal situation would be that each village has its own co-living, but that's not happening right now.
Yet
So meanwhile, while choosing one specific place to have your physical space, you can also create all kinds of activities, including other villages and other part of the region.
absolutely. We think in
Mm.
the end, we are very close with each other. We have lots of abilities here where we are. All of us are suffering the same situation, which is
Mhm.
elderly population, young people living, no real future opportunities if nothing changes in the next 10 to
Yeah.
20 years. So each of us is thinking potential solutions, but in the end, it's only this networking and this cooperation what may bring tangible solutions that help out a bit.
Yeah, yeah, and that's where I see the link between co-living and co-working because co-working is exactly the same, but to build a place where people can work from whatever their work is. There are co-working spaces for bakers, for their studios, there are all kind of things. So it's not just with your computer because you could do it at home, but for having all the infrastructure you need to work and co-living to live. So very great projects.
Yes, I think we do more co-working when we are outside of the working time. So where we are just living, let's say, when we go on a Sunday
Yeah.
morning for a
And there's
trip,
a drawer.
yeah, all these people that is not in the thinking mode of working, but still we are together, we are chilling, we have this filtering process where ideas come and go, then that's where the beautiful things come out. And then after 1 week or after 1 month, we get something else out of that. When people is working, well, you have your routine, you have your calls, you have your meetings. So you are in your inner bubble, but it's this breaking moment of being chill, of having some rest, where cool things happen and new things come out.
Good thinking. We're coming to an end, the real end, now for outage and bit by bit. Before we do that, is there anything you wanted to add, something we didn't review yet?
Of course, I'm not gonna say that, but I should that this is the best co-living
For
in La Rioja
Mhm.
because we are the only one. Not only because of that, but we are the first co-living in our region. And since you were mentioning, it might happen that in the future there are one co-living everywhere pretty much, I think that can be an interesting phenomenon because that means this lifestyle is tackling the right points of our life. We need community. We need a cool place to live together. We need our own space. We, of course, value privacy. You need your room, you need your bathroom, you need your space, but we also need places to gather around. And that's basically what we are trying to do here in a very human way, like in compared
Mhm.
to other projects we do value a lot. How are you feeling? And we are very humble. Let's say we are not going for high luxury, high end offers, but rather something that everyone can understand and everyone can afford. And that's why we are trying to focus also in young people because we understand it's always more difficult when you are starting. So focusing on that, on what we would say, not normal people or one more like you or me, people that
Mhm.
wants to try their own things in a cool, chill, fun way, in a very beautiful place that it's very handy and very approachable.
Sure. And what if people want to know more about what you're doing, about the living, where can they reach out?
Yep. Thanks to the first NGO I was mentioning, we basically center everything through Manfred and Tour NGO. There is where we do the projects, but also how we run the co-living. And then co-living slash Sojuela in Instagram. We have our own Instagram. That's the way you can get either in Google or in Instagram to the webpage of Manfred on Tour or co-living Sojuela. That way you can drop us a message, send us whatever you want, and we can get in contact.
Yeah, and in the comment, well, I will add all the different links from all the different streaming link because we had three different, I believe, and of the website and Instagram profile so that people can find it easily.
Hopefully, that's amazing. Thank you so much, Fanny, for this opportunity. And I hope
Thank
to
you
see
so
you
much for
soon.
being such an understanding guest. I believe you're one of the best guests so far because a lot have happened. I was saying before the call that it's not per a poor taste isn't the craziest thing. It's very rare here, so I was very surprised. But it isn't the craziest thing that happened during the lives. The craziest thing is when it was raining inside. But that's another story. And it didn't rain inside, so I feel lucky still. And thank you so much for being here with us today. We'll catch up on your living and the next steps.
Hopefully, see you soon. Bye bye.
Bye.